welcome to a Civ video. I thought I'd do one because the last one ended and I just enjoy Civ. So yeah, I'm going to put it on completely random. Prince, because that's the most balanced and I like balanced. Because otherwise, if they win, it's just because it's not because the AI is good, it's just because they got bonuses, and I just think that's a bit stupid. So I'm looking forward to Civ 6 because apparently the AI is a little better. Oh, so I've got Babylon. Nice. I actually think he's one of the best Civs in the game. Because of how powerful his early game is, just because of the fact he gets a free Great Scientist when you get writing. And the fact you're getting Great Scientists so much faster is why he's so good. Yeah, I love Babylon. Of course, I'm going to go science. Let's have a look at my start. Okay. Right, I'm not going to settle here. I'm thinking about settling here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over here, see what else is there. You can see further on mountains and on hills, which is why I didn't move here. Actually, that's a pretty good spot. I want to stay next to this wheat tile, and I want to stay next to the river, because the wheat tile is really good food and production. That's something you want. These 2 food, 1 production is really good, which is why you want stuff like deers, because they give you the same thing. So I'm actually just going to settle right there. Some people might move to the coast, but I want this wine near me as well. Of course, I'm going to do pottery, because A, that gets me the shrine, and faith is really important, and it leads to writing, and I'm going to rush writing because of Babylon. Hopefully, I've got to micromanage. Right, it chose to do that one anyway. That's good. Now, what I look for in city spots is these 2-1 tiles, and having a lot of them. Ooh, nice. That's handy. I'm going to do that, actually. I might not grow as fast, but production. So this is something I'd consider a good spot, because it's got two 2-1 tiles, and it's got gems nearby. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move onto the deer, see what's around it. The only bad thing about this spot is it has got a little bit of tundra. Ooh, it's got another deer nearby. So if I was to settle right here, I'd get these 2 tiles, and then it would expand, grab these gems, grab this, and then later on it would grab the silk as well. So I'm not going to have any problems with happiness in that city. And actually it's going to give me more. But what you want is it to have at least 1 luxury resource that you don't already have in the early game. Because then you're not being killed by your lack of. Because if you get unhappy for a long period of time, it's really hard to get back from. Alright, so we're on a duel map. And the other person is Suleiman of the Ottomans. Now, one thing I could do is just go full on war, but that's not going to be very fun. Just go. Well, it is, but the campaign would be over really quickly. But it depends. I might end up going war. What I'm doing here, what I did here is I want to finish the shrine as quickly as possible because I want the first pantheon and I want the first religion. So I want to get the shrine as quickly as possible. And what I was doing is, well, because I didn't really want to make a warrior or a scout or a settler. Not right now, at least. So I just started building my worker because I'm going to do it later anyway. And then once I once I got the ability to do the shrine in the granary, I put them in the queue and I put the worker behind it. I always use queue mode because it's really handy, because I can start producing something and then decide, oh, I want to do this before I finish that. So that's what I always do. Now the thing is, he's founding by turn 10, which means he's really nearby, which might be an issue, because he is going to go for a domination victory, because he's Sullivan. Of course, he's going to have a strong military. And if I'm Babylon, I don't necessarily want to have a strong military. So let's have a look. When you go science, generally you want to go down tradition, because tradition aims like the growth of your cities being really big. When you're doing science, you want to be a tall civ rather than a wide civ. Yeah, and you'll eventually want to go down rationalism. Now, one thing you might want to do is, if you finish tradition and you're not yet in the Renaissance, which is actually quite likely, you want to go down either honor or liberty. If you're against AIs, you probably want to go down honor, because if you get too far ahead, they're going to try and attack you. But if you're against humans, you might want to go down liberty, just because they're not likely to attack you because you're far ahead. If anything, they're going to avoid attacking you because you're far ahead, because they'll have a technological disadvantage, but the AI won't think about that. So, just a general rule there. Ooh, bananas, okay. This is interesting, bananas. And cattle. Bananas and cattle, some excellent growth tiles right there. This here might be a really good spot on this marsh, because when I settle there, get rid of the marsh and turn into just a normal grassland tile, which means it might actually turn out to be quite good. Crikey, okay. Oh, the reason that I did this is because I'm going to want to go for the Great Library. Of course I'm going to want to go for the Great Library. Kind of given, really, when you're going for a science victory, that you try and get the Great Library. When it gets humans, it's not quite as necessary. Well, you might not want to instantly start doing it, because the chances are it's a good wonder. The chances are other people will try and get it as well. That's actually the perfect spot, except I don't have mining, so I can't put it on that tower just yet. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to research mining and make it sleep there, because I want to put my academy there. But one thing I could do is I could put it on this floodplains here. That might actually be a better idea. I'm going to do that. One thing I could have done is I could have put it on the wheat, but that would mean I couldn't turn it into a growth tile. Yep, of course. And because of this, when you get your worker, you do not want to turn it into just pure science. You don't want to just pop it. That would just be a waste. If you do that, then it's a waste. Or at least in the early game. What you want to do is you want to turn it into the improvement, because then you're getting loads of science as well, and you can get massively ahead of your opponent in science. It's this early science lead which makes him such a good civ. Of course, he's got higher. I've actually got 2 wines. So one thing I could do is the culture and faith from wine and incense. And if I'm gonna settle up here, I'm probably not gonna settle here. I'll probably end up actually settling here or here near this wine. So I'm gonna have at least 3 sources of wine near me. If I'm gonna go for loads of cities, that might be a good idea. So I'm actually just gonna go for the wine and incense. The wine and incense, because I'm gonna have 3 sources of wine. There are barbarians up there, but he's got scouts up there, so they'll be distracted with that. Let's have a look at these bananas. What's nearby? Ooh, horses and silk. Okay. Ooh, I've got a source of horses in my thing. Okay. If only I'd known that sooner, I would have. I might have put the academy on there, but oh well. At this point, I can't actually improve these with my thing, so I might as well do that now. I can improve this. If I was to settle up here, I wouldn't be able to improve the deer, so that might be another thing. in general, in the early game, what I do is I just focus on getting technology so I can improve anything I need, anything I think I'll need to improve. There's no my territory. Alright, so that's his territory there. Hopefully he doesn't start going up, settling upwards. Of course he knows I'm here, so it would be very hypocritical of him to settle near me, because if I settled down here, he'd tell me off. But they don't mind being hypocrites, so... What's on this hill here? Because this might actually be a good city spot. I know we're just talking about settling near him, but it might... it's near desert, okay. Here is a decent spot. If you're going to play someone where you need a load of cities, if you're going to go for a, say, culture victory, then having loads of cities is a good thing. So, just having these two good tiles near here, not any luxuries nearby, but it's going to be a strong city, because it's on a hill, it's got some decent growth tiles, that would be a good city. The only problem I have with it is it's near these guys, and there aren't really any luxuries nearby. It would expand to this natural wonder, yes, but that's the only other thing about it. If I was going for a cultural victory, then yes, I'll settle next to it, but at this moment in time, I don't want to settle there. If this was a bigger map, I might be saying, once I take out the Ottomans, I'll settle there, but if I take out the Ottomans, that'll be game over, wouldn't it? So the chances are, I'm not going to settle there, but the AI will see that as a decent spot, and I need to keep an eye on that, because he's probably going to settle there. Unless there's some good spots down, which I doubt actually. But still. Ooh. Oh, if I'd settled on that hill, I would have got the iron. That is just so typical. That is just so typical. Right, let's have a look. Oh yeah, I was going to go trapping, wasn't I? He wants to exchange embassies, fine. He already knows where my capital is, I already know where his is. So there's actually no point in withholding. And what is he going to do with this information? If it was a human, I might be a little more cautious about giving it out, because they can think, oh, that's actually quite an easy spot to settle, because there's just a river and some hills and some forest, but that's about it. Whereas an AI doesn't think like that. If I put that there, I'm going to actually just put this on production focus. It's still working, that's how it's good. It has put me on -1 gold per turn, but I'm alright with that, because it's not going to take 65 turns. And as soon as I finish this, I'll put it back onto normal, and it'll work these gold tiles, so... Put it down in the comments. Do you want me to go to war with him? Because that's #1 priority at this point. Do I want to take him out? Do you want me to go full on science, or do you want me to just take him out? Take him out and go for a different game. What do you fancy? It's up to you guys. It's up to you. Oh, great. Yep. And that means he'll now consider this part his territory now. So he's almost definitely going to settle over here now. He decided to settle on the bananas, which I thought was quite interesting, but there you go. Now with the proximity, it might seem like a good idea to go to war with him, actually. Except I'm not going to declare war on him now. I'm going to wait until I'm a little further ahead of him in technology. I might wait until like the medieval or Renaissance era, about this kind of period here. Because that'll probably be the best time. I'm actually going to head north now and deal with these barbarians. Yep, just as I expected. I'm ahead of him in literacy and all that. I expect there's not much up here, but there might be, who knows. 4 turns, nice. Crossing into a great library. What am I going to get with the great library? What will I get? I'm not going to get sailing because that would be a waste. I'm not going to get horseback riding because that's kind of useless technology. I'm not going to get masonry. I'll probably end up getting philosophy because then I can get my national college. Now the national college is really important, but I actually end up forgetting about building it until like the bonus is actually not very good by the time I actually finish it. Which is kind of amusing, but there you go. considering I've got almost 1,000 hours on this game. Pointy Sticks, he hasn't got much of a military either, but it's still stronger than mine, so. There we go, easy. No contest there. Philosophy. Ooh. He died, okay. I'm actually going to get myself a bowman. Bowman, National College, Water Wheel, Stonehenge, Settler. There we go. Right, as I said, I finished that, so I'm going to go back onto default focus. And it will come in a few more turns. One more turn, actually. One extra turn, should I say. Not. So he's almost dead. Nothing much for me to do up there. I can't improve these horses because it will just get taken by archers. I'm actually just going to have to do that. Barbarians can cripple you in your game, they really can. So deal with them. Don't focus all your production into building loads of military units to defend off these barbarians, because really all you need is 1 or 2 archers, maybe a warrior as well, and hey presto, you've dealt with most of your problems. Which is why if you settle too early, you might have an issue. But also, you'll have an issue if you settle too late as well. So, finding the balance. My next spot is going to be up here. It's going to be a decent city, I think. It's not going to be coastal, so I'm not going to be able to get any coastal war with him. But he has 2 coastal cities, and he's a naval-based civ as well, so I'm not too worried about the fact that I haven't got a navy, because I've never owned the seas anyway. Of course, if I wasn't near him, I'd be like, alright, fine. I might want to have a coastal city. And I might think about building a land army and taking a DNA, but as it is. So 11 turns until I've got my national college. I think I'll actually move my settler, so I'll get him straight after my national college. Then I get my next guy up soon, because I'm slowly going to run out of place to actually build improvements here. Well, without having to build farms, and to be honest, I want to save all this room for scientist improvements and stuff. I'm going to actually go masonry because I want these walls, because he is a military civ, he might already be plotting for an invasion. So and also a couple of extra workers. These wonders are actually quite decent, so Nothing wrong with that.